thing I had talked about in the first breakout session was, as far as the funnel, oftentimes, you're really needing to make a bigger funnel, before, you have to look at the next section up, right? So you will not, I mean, I'm somebody who I turn away more work than I can handle, right? Consistently. I still do not close every deal, right? I still have times that I, put out a bid and they choose not to, or they lost their funding for it, or there's a change in leadership. Now they want to go to a different direction, whatever. You always do need to have more bids out there than you're going to close, right? And figuring out what that percent is. And for many of us, we might need, you know, I need only, I have a team of five and we need 12 clients a year. It's two clients each, or a little more than that, right? But two to three clients each, right? For some of us, we only need three to five clients a year, right? But in order to get those three to five clients, you do have to anticipate that you are going to put out some bids that aren't going to go anywhere. And so you do need to have a stronger funnel to get to that five. You need to put out at least, what is your close rate? For me, it might be I close 75% of the bids I put out there, right? So if I need to have, you know, seven clients this year, I got to put out 10 bids, right? So, kind of looking at it that way too. And, there's been times in my careers, maybe I only closed 20%. So I had to strengthen the funnel before that, right? To be able to get that many. But, ultimately, if you're looking at it in the way of like, I really only need, three to five people to sign on that dotted line this year, depending on the type of work you do, to me, that feels much more manageable. But then working back from that, okay, I've got to get 100 people, aware of me, and of those, 50 have to, you know, do an exploratory call, and of that, I'll send a bit, right? Like so, kind of to me that can be a little helpful though to kind of work back from ultimately it is a small number of folks that we need to close the deal with.
The other thing that I would add on top of that is just making sure that, with relationships, you don't want a relationship where that person doesn't know what you do, who you do it for, and how much it costs, right? So you want to still make sure that, and I try and be that for other people too. So I'm not saying like, hey, just don't forget, like I love to do it. I'm not trying to be so aggressive with it, but I'm like, can you remind me what is it that you do with who, and what's the budget range? And then, people tend to reciprocate on that. Or if I'm, talking to, referrals who aren't necessarily consultants, I say like, I typically serve nonprofits around this budget range with this type of service. This is usually the problem they're experiencing when they call me in. That way, you keep upfront, like we're in a relationship, absolutely. And like, we're trying to make sure this ecosystem is as healthy as it can be. And part of the way of making it healthy is making sure people find what they need. I was on the phone with Lauren yesterday and I was like, I feel really weird doing like, here's how you do business development in the context of knowing so many people are struggling right now. And you can do this perfectly and not have a good year because of things that are completely outside of your control. And so I just want to make sure that we talk about that too, that like you might do this perfectly. And if that grant program gets cut tomorrow, you lost it, right? And it's not about you. It's not anything you're doing great. It's just you're in a really, really broken time right now. So just want to make sure we have that before we end as well, since it can feel so defeating.